Hardy, and the evergreen John Joyner completes the Castleford lineup. He's the captain, and the coach is Darrell van der Velde. Leeds emerge from the dressing room. John Gallagher just running through your picture there. Big responsibility on the shoulders of this side tonight. Defeat, says David Ward, and it's the end of the championship hopes for them. John Gallagher's their full-back. John Bentley, former England Rugby Union international, is in 2. Simon Irving, one of the finds of the season, is in 3. And Carl Gibson, Great Britain international, completes the centres. And here's a new face for you, Eddie Rombo, the first Kenyan to be playing rugby league in England. He wears 5. Gary Schofield is the Leeds captain at standoff. Such a responsibility on his shoulders again tonight. And his halfback partner is Paul Harkin. Big money brought Steve Malloy from Warrington to Leeds. Richard Gunn gets his chance again at hooker. Roy Powell is a Great Britain international. He's the other prop forward. In the second row, it's Gary Lord, who used to play for Castleford. Paul Dixon comes back after suspension. We saw him getting sent off at Hull the last time we featured Leeds. And the Kiwi Mike Kuiti completes the lineup. And the coach is David Ward. Leeds out and ready for the challenge that lies ahead. John Gallagher clapping his hands together, motivating the players. And there is the Leeds captain, Gary Schofield. Number 6, standoff half. So much depends on him tonight, as it always does when he pulls on the amber and blue jersey of Leeds. And Lee Crooks, number 8, man of the match, Lee Crooks, in the last 2 wins for Castleford, playing against one of his former clubs. You can expect fireworks from the big fella today. A misty night in Castleford, but conditions almost perfect for football. And Gary Schofield, one of the most important members of the Leeds side, important too, of course, for Great Britain when he dons the red, white and blue jersey, the Leeds captain tonight. He seems a lot older than 25, Gary Schofield. And the match referee is John Connolly from Wigan. He's 31. It's his first season on Grade 1 list. So it's Castleford who will kick off. Graham Steadman, their leading try scorer with 18 touchdowns this season, gets this match underway. In their fixtures since New Year's Day, Castleford have conceded only 3 tries. But with this fellow in the side, Paul Dixon, Leeds, Mike Stevenson must be fancying their chances tonight.
Well, it certainly will welcome his return, because the defensive qualities of the last couple of weeks have been very woeful. Leeds, patchy, they're great in attack, but sometimes they're awful in defence. Let's see if they can get that sorted out tonight.
John Gallagher's kick downfield is collected by St John Ellis. Now a fully fledged British international, on for 10 minutes against France last Sunday. There's John Ray, keeping out David Plange tonight, the number 5 for Castleford. Crooks! Fancy he thinks he's got 1 or 2 points to prove to Leeds tonight, Lee Crooks. Hardy, though, now for Castleford. Laid back. Steadman with the kick ahead. And first touch for Eddie Rombo, the man that Leeds signed in a big money deal during the summer He's the first Kenyan to play in rugby league in this country, and immediately he's got Leeds a penalty.
Yes, the referee there counting that Castleford were in front of the kicker and therefore not allowing him the 5 yards. And that's the reason why the penalty goes to Leeds.
Good deep kick from Schofield. Gary Schofield earned his 30th Great Britain cap last week. The Leeds skipper. Harkin. That's a good ball to Kuwaiti. Another good pass too. It's Gary Lord. Kuwaiti again. Harkin. Harkin with that kicking game of his. He was flattened off the ball. The referee hasn't seen it. St. John Ellis is allowed to collect and bring the ball away. Harkin is fully recovered now.
Yes, a little bit of play acting there by Harkin. And silly play by Leeds. They throw away the advantage that they had with that neat little kick by Harkin.
Southernwood to restart. There's England. Good tackling, and that's good support play from Sampson. And the move keeps going, but good swarming tactics by Gibson and Kuwaiti. And Gibson looks like he's stolen the football. He has. It's great play from the Leeds centre. He sprung from defence to attack with that one move. Harkin, now Schofield. Ball's dropped. Referee says it's a knock on. Don't think Gary Schofield agrees.
Yes, a look of disbelief there. He's obviously reefed out. The referee not watching what was going on. A little bit unlucky for the Leeds captain.
Castleford then back in possession. Good tackling from Schofield on his opposite number, Graham Steadman. Ball has been spilled from England and Leeds have it back. Here's Dixon. Good play, Dixon. Gallagher has joined the line. Games now under his belt for the former All Black Rugby Union fullback. Harkin and Schofield and Kuwaiti. Irving is in support. So too is Bentley. Look at the defence of Castleford. It's an area that Darrell van der Velde really has tightened up during the opening 4 or 5 weeks of 1991. Schofield, good ball, and good running and good support from Gallagher. He really is finding his feet, Mike, isn't he?
Certainly is, and the move with Schofield going back into 5'8" for tonight's game will definitely help the Leeds side.
High one to test St. John Ellis. The ball went back. Referee allows play to continue. Kuwaiti, it's still the last tackle this though. Kuwaiti steps out of one, and now the ball has dropped. Gary Lord just letting the ball spill.
Well, this was hard lines because the gap was there. Lord took his eye off the ball just at the last minute.
So now it's Castleford's turn. Southernwood, he finds England.
I think this Castleford defence a little bit surprised that Leeds are finding the gaps. Really is a very enterprising opening by the Headingley boys.
Good ball. Hardy, the man in possession. Brooks with the kick ahead. Gallagher collects. Rombo is in support. Well, that was a real heavy shoulder charge on him by Grant Anderson. Rombo lived up to the test.
Certainly did, but I don't think you'll be sending John Gallagher a Christmas card this year.
Mistake from Bentley. From Bentley, former England Rugby Union international.
And there you see a silly mistake which seems to have crept into the Leeds side over the past few weeks. Two silly mistakes midweek against Warrington, lost them the game.
Here come Castleford again. Irwin finds St. John Ellis. Tackling by the full-back Gallagher. And Gallagher got a kick on the thigh and is laid out there.
Well, that was really silly by the centre there, Grant Anderson. It's no good complaining, and he fully deserves that. That is stupid play. You see the tackle here. All right, he was pushed away. Irwin got it in the elbow, but Anderson, whilst coming away, he stamped on the player's leg. We can do without that in rugby league. Thank you very much.
And Anderson has 10 minutes to reflect in the sin bin. So can Leeds make the extra man pay? Bentley is in possession for them. Richard Gunn is the dummy half. Harkin, first receiver. Now Malloy. Say Leeds looking fired up. There is the offender, Anderson, on the bench and in the sin bin. 10 minutes to cool his temper. Kuwaiti, been prominent early on. Harkin and Irving. Good play this by Leeds. Gunn, running straight, running hard. Well pulled down by Crooks. Still, Leeds pile forward. Gallagher looks none the worse. Gibson is still going. Neat play from Schofield. That's 5 tackles gone. Leeds 10 metres short. Harkin, what can they conjure up here? Well picked up by Gibson. The kick ahead. Rombo has got it, but he's been forced into touch.
Well, here we see a little bit of a mistake on both sides. Rombo really had no chance of trying to get that. He was off balance, and Castleford defence was equal to the task to put him into touch. But they're going very high, Castleford. It's not what we expect. They've been very strong in the defensive qualities, but they're going far too high and allowing Leeds far too much latitude in attack.
Ball has gone free. Sutherland dropped on it, but didn't manage to collect, and Schofield's in here! Schofield for Leeds! Try number 11 of the season for Gary Schofield of Leeds. Back from his 30th Great Britain cap in France last Sunday. A record-breaking performance then, and Schofield turning up the heat here.
He's a man that loves this. It was an awful pass. The hooker couldn't hold it. It came clear, and good quick thinking, and the Great Britain star in for another 4-pointer. Now this really was a bad mistake by Castleford. The ball coming there, Kuwaiti, a long ball out, no one in front, and that came about from a silly mistake, a bad pass by the Castleford side. It came clear, and a simple try for the Leeds captain.
Well, only the 4th try that Castleford have conceded in 1981, and Simon Irving really should have done better with that conversion attempt. 9 minutes then, and Leeds have hit the front. 4-0 they lead. And they've done something that so many other teams, Mike, this year haven't done. They've breached the Castleford line.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, the Castleford defence, normally they go very, very low, stop the man running with the ball. But for some unknown reason, they want to go head-high, and that's not the way to stop a side like Leeds. They love to have these gaps open.
So Leeds in possession again. And here comes Malloy. I must say, if Leeds win here tonight, it really will be up a bit tight at the top of that First Division table. Wigan looking good, Widnes looking good, Hull doing well, Leeds adding into the pack. Castleford, what a finish we've got to the championship. two sides have never been out of the first division since it was reformed in 73-74. That's the quality we've got on show here tonight. Let's go down pitch side and join Peter Hutton.
News from down here is the fact the Leeds bench rather anxious about number 11, Gary Lord. He's taken a blow to his head, and just following on from what Mick Stevenson was saying, that's the first direct result of the high tackling we've seen so far. Other than that, some satisfaction in the fact the players are allowed to play their natural game at the moment. The ground in good condition after the groundsman Steve Kirk get the frost off by keeping it covered for the last few days.
And so Castleford now inside the Leeds 22. Good tackling though. That was a great tackle by Steve Malloy on Keith England. Stopped him dead in his tracks. Joyner, the Castleford captain. Dixon and Gunn, the hooker, completing the tackling job. Lovely little kick over the top. Has it got the correct weight? No. It was Lee Crooks who tried to open that Leeds defence then with that chip over the top. Just perhaps a bit too much weight behind it. Gibson. You say Carl Gibson in possession for Leeds, Mike, one of the most improved players in the league this season.
It certainly is, not only in attack, but he's been one of the better defenders on the Leeds side. Full credit there to Castleford. They really are going to test this new guy, Eddie Rambo, out.
Yes. Rombo. I would think he would be a headline writer's dream with a name like that. His chances, though, have been restricted in the first division since his arrival.
Well, there you see the touch judge indicating to the referee that the ball was punched out. And that is why the penalty, or is it? Here you see, rather hard tackle. And the touch judge claimed that Dixon briefed the ball away, and that's the reason why we have touch judges, to help the referee.
So Stedman's penalty has taken Castleford into the Leeds half of the field. Good strong running from their forwards. Good tackling so far from Leeds. They're standing up to the task well. Crooks maybe should have released the ball. Still clinging on, Lee Crooks.
Leeds really have got this defensive pattern sorted out in the few days since the game against Warrington midweek. They're moving up very, very quickly, especially out wide, forcing Castleford to play down the middle.
Joyner, Stedman and Crooks again. Lovely dummy from Crooks. Neat play from Castleford, that. Sean Irwin almost in. Last tackle, so a bomb to test John Gallagher. Gallagher comes up with the goods. Look at the strength of the man, and what a good piece of enterprising play. But I think the referee has pulled them back for a forward pass.
Well, it must have been very close. Here you see the former All Black. Well, I'll leave it up to you, the viewers, to decide. But the man that counts said it was a forward pass.
Quarter of an hour of this intriguing First Division clash. Third against fifth gone. Leeds have the slender advantage of a 4-0 lead at the moment, and they're in possession with Gary Schofield. Harkin organising as he does from dummy half. This is Bentley, who's drifted in field. Gunn playing in place of Colin Maskill today. David Ward, the coach, tells me that Maskill could easily have played. He was just a bit battered and bruised from the midweek draw against Warrington, and it's simply a question of a fresh pair of legs. Two good hookers in the Leeds club, Maskill and Gunn. Touch judge has seen a Leeds player swinging a punch, I think, in the tackle there. And the touch judge says the offender was John Bentley.
Well, here we see the replay. Let's see if it's as bad as what they thought. Well, I don't know. It seemed to me to just swing him down on the top of the chest underneath the chin. But maybe now that both touch judges have been on TV, we'll get on with the game.
Sampson for Castleford. England the first receiver. Good tackling from Malloy. Job completed by Gary Lord. Joyner, well, he clung onto that brilliantly. It was a pass round his bootlaces. John Joyner, this is his 594th appearance for Castleford. What a record. Grant Anderson has returned from his stint in the sin bin. So Castleford are back to strength. St. John Ellis. There he is, number 4. Rombo has played that and he's given the initiative back to Castleford. What's more, Castleford have 6 more after that kick ahead. A bit of a mistake from the Kenyan. Castleford 10 metres out. England. Crooks, he scored last week, Crooks. Love to get over the whitewash against Leeds tonight. Joyner, good ball. England, ball spills. Castleford perhaps just a bit over anxious, forcing the pace too much.
They certainly were. England should have held on to that ball. But I mentioned earlier that Castleford would test this guy out, Eddie Rombo. It was a very difficult kick to accept, and the ball bounced away and gave Castleford their chance, but they've thrown it away.
A little raw, the number 5 for Leeds. Rombo, only 3 appearances before tonight in the first team. Plenty of experience in this Leeds side though, and one of the most experienced heads, Paul Harkin. Oh, and he just shows his experience there, the little fellow, and gets a very kind little bounce. And because it came off poor old Johnny Ray, well, the head and feed will go Leeds' way. Cruel game.
It certainly is. But at least John Ray had a lot more time than what Rombo did to accept the ball.
Gallagher. Gibson. Castleford really do swarm round the man in possession. Here's Kuiti. Goes with him. So too is Rombo. I'd love to see Rombo getting the ball in his arms actually and having a run at this Castleford defence. He can move. Here he is. Space cut down for him though. Schofield. Good kick from Schofield. Won't run dead either. He's following it up himself, the Leeds captain. The fullback did well.
That's good tactics by Leeds, electing not to kick into touch, but to force Castleford right back into their own quarter. In the past few games, Leeds have squandered so much possession by just chipping or putting towards a touch for 20 metres and thus giving the head and ball to the opposition. They've changed their tactics tonight and it's working.
OK, let's go downstairs again. Peter Hutton's on the touchline.
One more area of worry for Castleford is an injury to their number 10, Dean Sampson. Sampson at the moment struggling with a head injury. He's been struggling for some time now and certainly doesn't look at his best. It's meant that Castleford are warming up their substitute, Andy Clark, who's on the sidelines and ready to come on if the situation worsens.
Another one to test Rombo, and he didn't get a hand to it this time. That kick from Stedman bounced right over the top of his head.
Once again, they pick on the experience. The wingman here, not the best of positions. Stedman realised it. But time will tell.
Ball comes out Leeds' way. That was well picked up. And Leeds looking to get away with that. Harkin. Referee wipes the tackle count clean. So Leeds have 6 more. Roy Powell.
It really does, Eddie, give you the indication of how professional now this game is becoming. The coaches look at the videos. We saw on that occasion that they're kicking towards Rombo, and once again, when he actually played the ball, they knew that it was going to be reluctant to hold people off.
John drops it, and has to have it back. This is Grant Anderson again. And I think there's a bit of argy-bargy going on in there from the reaction of the crowd. Anderson, of course, just back on the field after 10 minutes in the sin bin. And the referee from Wigan. Mr. Connolly wants to talk to John Bentley. That's the second time Bentley's been pulled out, and as you can see, any more of that and you'll be off.
Well, let's see whether Bentley... Well, he's going in high, but you can't really see what he may have done there. Maybe he was using the fingers in the wrong place. Who knows?
Sampson playing on with that head injury. As you heard from Peter Hutton a few moments ago, Southernwood, the dummy half. Castleford piling the pressure on here now. Here's Southernwood again. Just a metre short of that Leeds line. England to Joyner. Joyner has Crooks. Oh, and Crooks has given it to Carl Gibson as an interception try here. St. John Ellis is quick, Gibson is quick. Can they get in? Great tackling, Ellis. Well brought down. Anderson and Ellis bring Carl Gibson down. It looked all the world like an interception try from deep inside their own 22. Leeds, though, might make them pay. Malloy. Harkin. And this is John Bentley. Harkin again. Now Schofield. Master tactician. Good play. Leeds have got men over here. Gallagher's one of them. Kuwaiti is another. And Kuwaiti has scored.
The simple process of keeping the ball alive. The defence has to run out. Good play. Leeds keeping it alive. Lob pass by the hooker. Support was always on. Gallagher. Beautiful plays. He just held it up. Beautiful. There you see the hooker gets it out. Now watch Gallagher. He'll come right into the picture soon. Here he comes, Stephen on. See how he pulls them in towards him. And in for the lock forward for a beautiful try.
Mike Kuwaiti, the try scorer, the Kiwi, a hat-trick against Castleford in the 41-16 win in November. So that's 4 tries in his last 2 appearances against the old enemy. And it's try number 8 of the season. Simon Irving then with this conversion attempt. 81 goals from this prodigious kicker this season. Still we await number 82. It's a couple of unsuccessful kicks, but Leeds have the advantage, 8-0.
Well, here we see Gibson race away. It looks as though he's going to race in, but St. John Ellis showed tremendous speed. It was a very bad pass by Lee Crooks that gave Gibson the chance. But taking your chances is what rugby league's all about, and Leeds, they came into the Castleford quarter, threw the ball about, kept it alive, and they were rewarded with 4 extra points.
Let's get down to Peter Hutton on the touchline.
What's going on at the moment is John Connolly, the Wigan referee, is talking to Mick Morgan on the bench. The result of it is because of something that was said to John Connolly on the way back from the post. The touch judge came in, pointed out Morgan, and that's when the referee came over to the bench.
Mick Morgan with the headphones on now in Communicado with his coach here at Castleford, Darrell van der Velde, watching somewhere up in the stands. Unlike Mick to say something out of turn to the referee.
I wonder what he said, but I'm sure that most of the crowd here would have some idea.
Leeds then going well. Powell. They've won only 1 of 4 league games. There's Darrell van der Velde. Leeds have won only 1 of 4 league games since New Year's Day. And their away form is no cause for optimism. Just 1 of their last 5 away matches for Leeds, but what a start they've had here. They're ahead 8-0, and this is John Ray for Castleford. That's good tackling.
Well, the difference between the two sides is obviously the fact that Leeds are respecting the possession. They're not doing silly things.
But here's St. John Ellis. This is the form that's got him a Great Britain cap last week, and that's a wonderful run. A quarter of the length of the field. Referee There's 6 more for Castleford. They might not need them as Steadman comes forward. Harkin's shoulder stopped him, and then 2 more closed in. Good ball. Oh, they're in, a quick reply. And Sean Irwin has struck back for Castleford in the best possible manner. Sean Irwin's 6th try of the season. The former under-21 international captain has hit back for Castleford.
This is just what the doctor ordered. The skipper Joyner, look at the dummy there. And once again, the inexperience. They know to take it to the blind. This man played over 500 games, Joyner. Beautiful ball onto Irving. Irwing. That really was a beautiful dummy and went through. But let's put that down to the break by St. John Ellis. He put them in that position, and they were just about to mention that Castleford's biggest problem in this game was that they were not respecting the possession. They were throwing poor passes and trying to force the issue. They calmed it down there and came up with a good try.
So Graham Steadman has this to increase the Castleford score. It looks a peach. It is. Great kick from Steadman. His first of the night, and Castleford are right back in it. Goal number 28 of the season for Graham Steadman. And Castleford back to within 2 points. Yet again, Sunday evening, proving a good one for the Rugby League and for us. Oh, there's a mistake right on his own try line. What a complete and utter Horlicks Jeff Hardy made of that.
Well, he won't want to see this too many times, but I'm sure that his coach, fellow Australian Dal van der Velde, will punish him through the week and show him it several times.
Just a quick lapse in concentration. Schofield now for Leeds. We hardly have expected to be in this position so soon after the kick-off. Can they make it pay? Gibson. Leeds really are examining this Castleford defence so far tonight. Harkin. Dixon. And I think that was obstruction. Yes. Shepherding. Dixon disagrees, but Castleford have the penalty.
Well, no doubt about it. Harkin held it up far too late, and the loose forward Mike Kuwaiti running in front. You're not allowed to do that. That's why the penalty was given to Castleford.
Penalty count. Castleford have had 6 and Leeds 2. Coming up to the half-hour mark in this first half. Castleford 6, Leeds 8. Castleford coming forward again. That's a great run from Hardy. He's out to make up for the mistake, I think. And Castleford are on the Leeds 22. Here's Lee Crooks. Southernwood, the dummy half. Sampson is there in support, but this is Steadman. Pass over the top, 2 men collide. Rombo does well, forces Larder into the mistake. The referee blowing the whistle. Knock on is his verdict.
Well, once again, Castleford becoming their worst enemy. They really had Leeds on the rack then. Tried to keep the ball out wide, but poor pass just at the final moment.
Castleford have head and feed. They have possession too. Here they come again. Good running. That's the try scorer, Sean Irwin. They're looking hungry for more. Castleford here. St. John Ellis just brought down. Southernwood. Good reverse pass. England looking for the support. It has arrived. St. John Ellis again. Tony Smith, the scrum half, was screaming for that ball. Ellis decided to hang on. Southernwood again. Now Smith has it. Oh, and he's given it away. And Kuwaiti has come up with the possession for Leeds.
And once again, that silly passing from the Castleford side. And I think they'll get a real verbal bashing when they go into the half-time from their coach.
Not much to choose between the teams in their tackling counts. It's a close battle. Both sides, of course, in cup action next weekend. Castleford entertain Wigan. One of the ties round. Schofield nearly through, but not quite.
Sheer quality of this wonderful 5'8". One of the greatest standoffs in modern era. He noticed that Castleford did not employ the sweeper, and Lady Luck just deserted him.
Here comes Hardy again. That's good tackling though. And Schofield laying all over him. Referee has lost his patience, thought it was going to. And what's more, Mr. Schofield has said something out of turn. And so, Castleford have got 10 metres further forward.
Well, there was very little doubt. Schofield came in very late and tried to ride the man carrying the ball. Now the law says, after the referee is called held, he has to roll away to the side. He doesn't, tries to climb all over him.
It's a penalty to Castleford. (8-2). Could this be the most costly that Leeds have conceded? Steadman kicked one off the touchline before. He's kicked another now. The match is all square. Great kick from Graham Steadman. They missed him last week at Wakefield, out with a shoulder injury, but that kick from him has brought Castleford level.
What a fantastic kick. He follows it up, the one that he kicked right out from the right touchline, to put his side into the game again. And Leeds must be quite frustrated. They've had most of the possession this first half, and they're all square.
6 minutes of this first half left for play, plus any stoppage time. I can't remember too much of that. England thundered to the floor. Here's Crooks. Almost through Lee Crooks. Once more. He's left a Leeds player on the floor in his wake. Here he is again. Crooks with the kick over the top. And for Gallagher to chase. Oh, but it was precision kicking from the big man. The ball agonisingly for John Gallagher. Just found touch. And Lee Crooks with that kick has gained about 40 metres for his teammates.
A little bit more purpose now in the side. Castleford beginning to slowly and surely take control, I feel, in the last part of this first half. And there you saw the experience of Lee Crooks picking the kick out to perfection.
Leeds have the possession. Harkin. Just a slight delay in the scrum while Gary Lord, who just walked through your picture there, just rubbing his head rather ruefully. He was the man who was left trailing in the wake of Lee Crooks a few minutes ago. Crooks is really leading from the front for Castleford, the big number 8. Castleford paid a lot of money for him. They bought him from Leeds. There he is again, in the thick of the action. Good kick from Schofield. Great kick. Relieves the pressure. Why run it when you can kick it 40 or 50 metres like that?
Certainly, beautiful position by the Leeds skipper. And like Lee Crooks a few seconds before, picked out the empty patch and was successful.
Castleford have it back. And Ellis. bargain buy, that fellow. £30,000, that's all Castleford paid for him from Rydale York. He's now a British international. Here's another one. Joyner. Oh, it's been surrendered by Joyner into Schofield's arms. Sampson's pinned him. Once or twice in this match, Castleford have nearly conceded interception tries. Powell. And Schofield just didn't have the legs. Penalty though, to Leeds. Well, the referee has made his intentions clear from the first minute here, and Powell being held down by Stedman, a clear penalty.
Well, yes, Stedman interfering there as he tried to mark him in front, pushed Powell to the ground. I wonder whether there may be something wrong with Powell. He was the man of the match against Warrington midweek for Leeds. Been very rarely seen in this first half.
Penalty then to Leeds, their third of the night. And Simon Irving has that angle and distance, and he could restore Leeds' advantage. 8-all it is at the moment. It's on the right side for the right-footed kicker. He's kicked it this time. Simon Irving's 82nd goal of the season has arrived at last, and Leeds are back in front. Castleford 8, Leeds 10. Paul Dixon now for Leeds, just looking for the opening. Kuwaiti again. Almost inevitably, it was Crooks who brought him down. Irving. 4 players then tackled Simon Irving. Harkin, there's the kick. It just has not bounced out of play. John Ray stopped dead in his tracks. St. John Ellis. They really do seem to be switching the flow of attack to that left wing as far as Leeds are concerned, to try and test obviously what they think is a weak link in Eddie Rombo, Mike.
Well, they certainly are, but Castleford's biggest problem that they're not respecting possession. They've got to settle things down. They've slowly and surely got back into this game.
Good ball from Crooks to Smith, and good tackling from Malloy. Rada the dummy half. Joyner, look forward. Southernwood though, referee lets it go. Here's Larder again. Kicked over the top, Gallagher read it well.
Well, we expected a very tight one tonight, and we're certainly getting that. Two sides really going hammer and tong at each other.
We're in stoppage time, and Leeds are ahead 10 points to 8, and in possession. Roy Powell. He's let the ball go though. Castleford are back in possession. Stedman, can they strike just before half-time? No, they can't. Ray's knocked it forward.
Well, just as I mentioned that Castleford were starting to slow things down, they do the stupid thing again. Bad passing has put a lot of pressure on them, and Leeds fully deserve that 2-point lead at the half-time break.
The mistake from John Ray doesn't really matter, as it turns out, because the half-time siren has gone, and Leeds are ahead by 8 points to 10. A try for Castleford from Irwin, tries from Schofield and Kuwaiti give us the half-time score of Castleford 8 and Leeds 10. So this fierce local derby is building up nicely. Don't go away, we shall be back here after the break. Welcome back to Weldon Road. We really do have a great game for you, don't we, once again here tonight, and Leeds just ahead, 10 points to 8. Are Castleford in for a surprise? Will Leeds' title ambitions keep burning away at the end of this? Well, half-time it is, and coming up shortly, an interview with Malcolm Reilly. We'll be talking to him very shortly about the new job he has. I say new, he's now the full-time Great Britain coach and his plans for the future. But I don't know whether many of you have seen in the papers this week that they are thinking of revitalising the Welsh Rugby League team. It couldn't have come at a better moment, could it, with the Welsh Rugby Union team going through such a bad patch at the moment. But earlier on today, I spoke to Jonathan Davis at his home in Warrington, and first of all, before talking about the Welsh, spoke about his injury that's keeping him out so far.
Well, it's one of those injuries that, you know, if I come back a little bit too early, you know, if it goes again, I'll be up for the rest of the season. So, you know, taking it very carefully, and if it's got to be another week, well, it's got to be another week.
You did it before Christmas, practicing your kicking. Hamstrings, people are saying, but not so.
No, it's not that. It's a torn thigh muscle, and you know, it takes a long while to heal. So I've got to be very careful, and even if I do come back, you know, I won't be kicking straight away.
Now let's just talk about this Welsh business. As the Welsh Rugby Union team's fortunes flounder in the Five Nations Championship, talk of a Welsh Rugby League side being reformed. Is it a possibility?
Yeah, I think so. You know, there's a sufficient number of players playing league now to you know, talk about it. If it's done professionally, you know, and you know, well coached, you know, I can't see why not.
Is there really the depth of talent from Wales to form a decent side?
Well, you know, we've got to try it to find out, really. You know, there's you know, there's plenty of backs, but I'm not sure about the strength and depth of forwards. And if we get a couple of injuries, well, you know, we'll be struggling, I feel.
Who would be the players you think who would come into the reckoning?
I think you've got to look at the people in form now. You've got John Devereux. Kevin Ellis is really playing well for Warrington now. You know, he seems to be the guy dictating play for them, and you know, he's scoring a few tries as well. So everybody's happy with his performance, and I'm sure you know, he's pleased with how he's come along.
And the other Welsh witness convention, of course, yeah. Paul Moriarty.
Well, Paul is struggling at the moment with an injury. He's going in for an operation on Tuesday just to scrape some calcification in his knee. So hopefully, you know, he's worked hard to come back, and if he can, you know, have a bit of luck again, Paul will be, you know, in the side as well. How do you think it would go down in the Valleys, a Welsh Rugby League team? I think it'll go down very well, you know, if it was done very professionally. You know, the last thing we want is for us to build a side and, you know, go down there and lose to Papua New Guinea. It would be another blow to Welsh rugby, you know. Union's not doing very well now, and, you know, it'd be sad if the league went in the same way. There's some suggestion that a certain Jay Davis might have his name alongside the captaincy. Yeah, well, you know, that would be nice. You know, it'll be an experience. I've never captained a rugby league side before, but you know, I feel I've learned sufficiently to captain the side after being in Widnes, so it'll be a great honour for me. And the people of Swansea and Cardiff would enjoy seeing you all again? Well, you know, to see us in the red jersey of Wales would be very enjoyable, and I'm sure that, you know, not only Cardiff and Swansea, the people of Wales would turn out and watch us.
Well, back here at Castleford, we're joined by the Great Britain coach, Malcolm Reilly. Malcolm, I wonder what your thoughts are on the possible Welsh national team.
I think it's an exciting prospect, really. I agree with what Jonathan said. It would be tremendous if they could get back and start playing international football again. There's certainly some exciting players. Young Ellis from Warrington has been performing extremely well. Moriarty, of course, and I'm sure Jonathan will make an excellent captain.
At the same time, though, the danger is that if the side doesn't do well, it'll hurt the development of the game a bit in Wales.
Well, we won't find out unless we really give it a positive go, will we?
That's a fair enough answer. If we can go on, Malcolm, to your experiences in France with the Great Britain side, it must be something that brings you considerable satisfaction.
Yes, well, it was a good performance. The lads are really dedicated in their approach to the game. There's no complacency whatsoever. We played some exciting football in the first half. Unfortunately, there's a very strong wind. In the second half, it was very difficult to bring the ball away from your own line. But having good field position that first half, we took the opportunities and made them pay.
I'd imagine too satisfaction at the performance of the people who came into the side, because you weren't able to keep exactly the same time that were playing Australia.
No, there's people like Paul Dixon was out, but once again, the combination of the half-backs were crucial. Andy Gregory, of course, it was missed, but Sean Edwards did a marvellous job there, and of course, Gary Schofield is always, as he is today, he's always on the spot.
If we can talk about today's game, clearly a very tight game so far.
It has. Both backs of forward have played well. They've both provided a platform for their backs. I think Gareth Schofield, again in particular, has kicked very well. He's taken his opportunities. I think that's the secret. Leeds have taken two very fine opportunities. Castleford have been a bit reckless in possession, close to the line, try opportunities on, but they gave the ball away. It's an exciting game.
Also, Castleford's defence, as it has been for the last 5 or 6 games, tremendous at the moment.
Well, it is, yes, but having said that, both defences are playing very well. I think it's anybody's game, really.
What about Leeds' strength? I think they're looking to try and play it wide because they have got that pace in the back. Do you think they can find a way around the back of the Castleford defence, if you like?
Well, Arkin and Schofield are combining very well, and Kuwait is very, very dangerous. He's always probing, as Crooks is. I think they probably will be pushing it wide. They've got pace out there. And I'm pretty sure they'll be looking to bring John Gallagher into the play as much as they possibly can.
One thing to talk about, the Leeds connection with you is obviously apparent from recent years when you were coaching there, but is your loyalty still towards Castleford?
I think I'd have to say yes, because I'm trying to sit on the fence tonight, but it's difficult. I've been involved with Castleford on and off for 20 years, and my heart and soul's down in this club, and having coached Leeds for a season, I'd put everything I had into it, but really Castleford is where I was brought up and where my heart lies.
Thanks a lot, Malcolm. Back to you, Eddie.
Thanks very much, Peter. So there we are, the Great Britain coach, Malcolm Reilly. He's building, of course, all the time to the 1992 Lions tour to Australia. Mike Stevenson was listening to all that he said there. Mike, do Great Britain really have a chance in Australia next time to bring those Ashes home?
Oh, of course they have. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I think that the Australians were somewhat shocked when we won the first test at Wembley. And they were lucky to get away with it in the second. They probably deserve to take the Ashes, but Malcolm realises that now he's got the full-time situation. That's all he has to concentrate on, and I think that's a great idea that the league's done that. I think that what he mentioned when he first took the position was the fact that it's the matter of the feeling of the players, their attitude. The Australians have always had a great attitude to want to win, the pride in pulling on their jumper. We used to have it a hell of a lot in Great Britain, and I think that Malcolm has brought that back into our players now. And if he can inject that at a younger age, let's start from the 9 and the 10 and 11 years of age, that they really want to play for their country. And I think that within time we'll become the top dog again.
Well, let's hope so indeed. I must say, as Mike Stevenson talks there about the pride of the British jersey, it makes the old chest pump out, doesn't it, on a night like this? Well, there's nothing much wrong with the British game if what we've seen in the first half here at Weldon Road can be repeated in the second 40 minutes. Remember the half-time score, Castleford 8, Leeds 10. Great game for you in the second half. Don't go away. We'll be back in a few moments' time. Back here at Chile Castleford, we await the players for the second half. That's the half-time situation. Leeds are just ahead, and what's more, they're keen to get on with the job. They're first out. Let's see if the match stats tell us anything about this match. Well, Castleford and Leeds have seen equal amounts of the football. Team tackles about all square. Nothing to choose in the scrums. Penalties, well, Castleford have had 8 to Leeds 3, and handling errors, Castleford 12 and Leeds 8. So, not too much to choose between the two sides, if the stats are anything to go by, and certainly, Mike, by the scoreline, nothing to choose between the two sides in that department either.
Certainly not, but there's Leeds, Castleford.
They're keen anyway.
Yeah, they're taking their time to come out, and why not on such a cold night? Let's give these Leeds players a little bit of frostbite before we get out. Here come the Castleford lads now. I think both their coaches would have told them to settle things down a little bit, especially in the first 10 to 15 minutes of this second half. that is where the game is going to be won or lost.
So important moments then at the start of this second half. Graham Steadman has had a fine game, back after injury. Referee John Connolly just checking his watches, making absolutely certain that everything is right. And it's going to be Leeds who will get this second half underway. Just a 2-point advantage. 10-8 they lead. Schofield to restart. Where would your money be, Mike?
I think the way that Castleford are frittering away their chances, I think Leeds are in with a very good chance tonight.
Big match for them, as we've said, all the way through the evening. Defeat tonight, I think David Ward would kiss bye-bye to the championship. Victory here, it really will rekindle the old embers. Ball has come off a Leeds player. That was unlucky for Irving. As the kick ahead came, it bounced off the Leeds man who was charging it down. It bounced early for Irving, and he nearly got to it, didn't he?
He certainly did, but probably would have been better trying to trap that. He was very late in setting off. Probably surprised that the ball came to him so sharply.
The tackling from Schofield on St. John Ellis. And again, the Leeds captain leading by example with that challenge on England. That was Crooks who has surrendered the possession, and again Irving just couldn't get his fingers to it. It's 2 chances early on for the Leeds centre.
Certainly was, and bad ball dropped there by Jeff Hardy. Should have let the youngster in for what would have been a very easy 4 points and probably 6.
Well, that was a lucky kick. Let's give the benefit of the doubt, and let's say that they actually played for that, Castleford, but it looked at one stage as though the ball hadn't found touch, but they really did make great territory. And Sampson takes up the battle for Castleford, 15 metres short of the Leeds line.
Well, this is the type of position that Castleford love to work, one of their switch moves.
Oh, and Kuwaiti and England are squaring up. Something happened at the play of the ball then, and England is wagging a menacing finger at Mike Kuwaiti. And referee Mr. Connolly will want a word as a result of all this. Well, the blood on England's lip there.
Well, there you saw, it was obviously in the tackle. Kuwaiti said something. England wanted to back it up with not just words, but throw in a few little fists. And it's obviously Kuwaiti has grabbed, and they caught him perhaps with the fingers.
And Kuwaiti and England have 10 minutes for their tempers to cool.
Well, maybe Kuwaiti's fingernails are a little bit longer. Yes, that's probably the reason why the blood is streaming out of the lips of Keith England. But they've got a while to cool down.
As a result of it all, it's a penalty to Castleford right in front of the posts. In the kicking form that Steadman's been in tonight, the match will be all square in a moment. So Steadman with this to bring his side back to 10-all. They're there. Graham Steadman has brought Castleford back 10-10. And it's little moments like that that can turn the game.
Certainly is, but maybe it could be a little bit of lady luck there on the part of Leeds, because Castleford really were setting up to launch an attack there.
Joyner forced into touch from a difficult take from a very peculiarly bouncing football from the kickoff. And Gibson and then everybody piled in, and Joyner was forced over the whitewash.
Well, that really was surprising to see a man of that experience, John Joyner, caught out of position
Penalty at the scrum. Castleford got the possession from the scrum. Harkin, I think, feeding.
Well, I make no wonder that these halfbacks in this modern day
Well, as you may have gathered, we are having one or two problems with our programme. We'll get back to it just as soon as we can.
Good distance on it too, right up to halfway. Hardy collects. Southernwood for Castleford. Nearly released the pass to Steve Larder. Thought better of it. Here's Sampson moving into the line menacingly. Drops the ball, does he? Yes. Regained it. Referee was on the spot.
Well, it's quite obvious it was reefed out there. Paul Dixon, very professional attitude there. The crowd didn't like it. There you see, no doubt about it. The referee claims that Sampson had dropped the ball.
Harkin, Schofield, Gallagher's in support. Might not need him. What a good run from the Leeds captain. Powell, quiet first half for the man of the match from Wednesday. And he has the words of David Ward ringing in his ears. Harkin. Dixon. And Schofield again. Kicks for territory. Precision stuff. Gary Schofield, one of the great figures of the game.
Wonderful kick once again. Open spaces. And it really is similar to a game of chess, modern day rugby league. Keep the ball down in their own quarter and let's hope that a mistake comes.
Castleford have the possession from that one. Gary Schofield tackling like a demon tonight. 10-10. Nothing to choose between these two sides. Two vital points at stake. Crooks. Good ball. Smith came onto that at full power. Tried to slip the pass to St. John Ellis, and he just couldn't cling on.
Well, it was a beautiful pass by Tony Smith. St. John Ellis just overran it slightly, and once again Castleford, they're trying to force the issue. There's plenty of time, they don't need to do that.
Gallagher for Leeds. Irving on his own. Hardy and Joyner, the two Castleford players who bring him down. Malloy for Warrington.
I think both sides would do well to try to get it out of the forwards now. It's been a hard encounter down the middle, but get the ball out wide and I'm sure that the gaps are going to come.
Schofield going nowhere with those three round him. Crooks leading the challenge on his great friend. That's a good ball. Dixon. That was the last tackle. The turnover. Lada. Well, it's all just a little scrappy at the start of this second half. I think the players need the words of wisdom from Mr. Stevenson alongside me. Get it out wide. He's down the middle. There's no room, is there?
No, it's been a hard-fought contest in the forwards. I mean, they've worked tirelessly. But the long ball or miss a man out, that's what's needed. And surprisingly, I have not seen one set move.
10 minutes of this second half gone. Stedman kicks over the top, straight into the arms of Harkin. Now what have Leeds got in reserve here? Bentley feeds the ball to Irving. The swarming defence of Castleford, though. Here come Leeds again. A strong run from Bentley. Nearly caught Roy Powell unawares. There's Mike Kuiti watching from the sin bin. You reckon he's got about 3 minutes of his penalty to serve. Both sides, of course, down to 12 at the moment. Kuiti in England, taking a breather. Harkin, good tackling though from Jeff Hardy. Dixon from dummy half, and now Schofield. Good ball. Gone. Oh, well, it bounced kindly from Schofield, but it was a ball that came back off a Castleford player, and that made it forward.
Well, the referee has given accidental offside. Did he come off the Castleford player? Maybe so. If that is the case, then the referee is quite correct. They really have, both sides, got to realise to stand deeper in attack. The defences are coming up very, very quickly.
St. John Ellis. Round Gallagher. Oh, great stuff from St. John Ellis. He's one of the fastest on the pitch tonight. And he's over. Referee's given it. Great try. A try out of nothing. And try number 5 from St. John Ellis, back from international duty last week. And he set the Castleford crowd roaring here.
This was grit and determination. Now, for the first time, notice how deep they are. A missed tackle there by Gallagher. Why on earth fullbacks stand up in the line at the scrum is beyond me. The determination, his weight and speed takes him over. There you see Gallagher. I don't like fullbacks in the line at the scrum base. Why Australian coaches do, English coaches have copied it. Look at the grim determination. Nothing is going to stop this boy, and he has got one great future.
Try number 5 of the season. He takes the salute from the crowd, his first since September. 14-10, and that's the way it stays. Stedman this time not on target with the conversion. Castleford have hit the front again. Could that be the decisive moment? There's the try scorer, £30,000. It's a bargain they got when they picked him up from Rydale York. And so Leeds must restart. And is that the sort of moment that turns matches? A try from absolutely nowhere from St. John Ellis, and England is back on, and that means Kuiti is back on also, and so both sides now up to full strength. One for Gallagher to chase. Picks up, there's a wall of yellow and white ahead of him, going nowhere. Bentley, good tackling from Castleford. Suddenly, I feel that they have got their appetite re-whetted.
Yes, you can feel that Castleford have gone up a cog. They're getting into top gear. This is going to be a real test for the Leeds nerves now.
That's 3 tackles gone, I've counted, and Leeds have not made a single metre of progress. They might now. Kuwaiti. No, not many. That's the last tackle. And Leeds are still camped on their own 22. Harkin kicks for touch. Doesn't find it, though. And here comes St John Ellis again. He scored one, wants another. Quarter of an hour of this second half gone. Castleford have done all the scoring in the second period. Penalty, the try. They have the lead 14-10. Here's Crooks. And he's getting cockier, Lee Crooks. 2 man-of-the-match performances from him in successive games. Joyner saw a little half break, but forward pass is the referee's decision. Scrum down.
Well, the idea was there. Joyner slowing the game down, trying to go out wide and bring this Tony Smith in very quickly on the inside. But Smith was a little bit too quick.
2 substitutions being made down here at pitch level. The men coming on, 14, David Creaser, 15, David Heron. The men coming off are number 4, Carl Gibson. He's on the left, and on the right-hand side, Paul Dixon from the second row.
So Dixon doesn't look too happy about being replaced. Just back in the side after a 4-match suspension. The kick ahead, Gallagher is leading the chasers, and he nearly got there. Larder read the situation perfectly. He was dicing with death there almost, Steve Larder.
Well, once again we see that Leeds now trying to take that advantage. Castleford following suit, not having their fullback back behind the scrum, and nearly got away with it.
Stedman almost through. Good tackling, though, by the substitute. Sampson so close to opening the Leeds defence again.
This was a beautiful ball by the hooker. Sampson had all the time. All right, it was a little bit high. Professional footballers of this calibre should be able to take that.
Leeds have the possession. A bit scrappy again, the scrum. Paul Harkin has clung on. There's Kuwaiti. Creaser, the only half. Now is Malloy. Such effort from both sides. Schofield, lovely little run around with Harkin. Ball was dropped though. And Gallagher hacks the ball forward again. Referee will bring them back though for the knock-on.
Once again we see Leeds, just like Castleford so often in this game, trying to force that pass. And I'm sure that Gary Schofield realises that he should have taken that.
Could have the possession. Sean Irwin, scorer of one of their tries tonight. Gets through so much work, Gary Schofield. Crooks did it at the second attempt. Charles van der Velde keeping a close eye on the situation. Won't be happy that his team have conceded 2 tries tonight. Worked so hard on defence. This great run of theirs has come after they were beaten in the Regal Trophy by lowly Rochdale. Since then they really have got their act together and they've become a real force in the First Division. Rombo. Well, he's through for the first time and he's round the full-back, and he's on the way to the corner, and that is a truly magnificent try. His first try in the English Rugby League, and isn't the Kenyan delighted? True quality, and that's why Leeds have paid all the money to bring Eddie Rombo over to the English game from Kenya.
Well, wonderful run by the winger Bentley to give him the opportunity. Missed tackles here, he threw the dummy and fended off well. He looked as though he was covered by St. John Ellis, but the speed of the man went through. Look at him go. He may have made a few mistakes in the first half, but he's made amends with that. Look at that lovely dummy. See the fend there? That's what gave him the advantage over Sean Irwin. There again, St. John Ellis should have had him, but the speed got him through. He knows he's made it, and this guy deserves this try. That's a good run, and he does the shakes.
So Eddie Rombo's first try, and Leeds are level, and that's why Leeds paid so much money to bring him over here. 23-year-old. He ran in 4 tries in the Wigan Sevens in the summer, and Leeds immediately offered him a contract. Irving with the conversion attempt, just fails to put the icing on the cake. So it's all square. Castleford 14, Leeds 14, and here is Eddie Rombo doing, well, what would you call it? The Headingley shuffle?
Well,
the Kenyan wiggle?
The Kenyan crawl shake. The Cameroons do it, and he'll be very pleased with that. And good luck to the guy. He had a nightmare in the first 5 or 10 minutes of this game, but things are looking to have worked out a lot better.
As a result of all that, number 15 in your picture there, Andy Clark has come on for Castleford. He's replaced Dean Sampson, who's had problems with a head injury throughout the course of this match. And so Clark comes on, former Wakefield Rugby Union forward, highly regarded by his coach Darrell van der Velde. So we're all square again, 14 points apiece, nothing between the two sides. And it's always great to see wingers running in tries. And that one from Eddie Rombo a few moments ago, sheer class. John Ray picks up for Castleford. Now it's Leeds' turn to look eager. They want to get on with the job. Richard Gunn. Nothing to choose between these two fine sides.
Well, Leeds were looking as though they were digging their own hole to get buried inside. And it needed a bit of quality and class and speed of that Eddie Rombo to put him back into this game. And we're set for a thriller once again.
Steadman. Good steps from Steadman. He's released Hardy. He's given it to Irwin. Irwin almost beat himself then, just lost his footing. Last tackle. Steadman again. Arrows it towards the corner. Doesn't go out. David Creaser has it for Leeds. And Sean Irwin has David Creaser. Gallagher. 6 more for Leeds there. Referee says it was a Castleford foot. Struck for the ball at the play the ball. And what's more, Leeds have surrendered possession. 2 substitutes. Tangling there. And Andy Clark has come up with it. What can Castleford do with that little bonus? Well, they're 5 metres short of the line.
And Leeds has stolen the ball. Well, that really surprised me. The referee was right there. He obviously hadn't called held. That ball was just stolen right underneath his nose.
So both sides surrendering possession on the first tackle. The coach's nightmare. Roy Powell will always drive that ball hard and true, straight down the middle. Malloy, he'll do the same. Leeds gaining a bit of ground now. Schofield, good ball. That was to David Heron. And Heron gave it to Irving. 5 tackles have gone. Schofield's kick over the top. He saw a little gap. He's following it up himself. Appeals to the referee, was pulled down. Referee waves play on. St John takes play back into the Leeds quarter.
Little doubt that Schofield ran into the player then after he kicked over. Tried to kid the referee, didn't get away with it.
Here's Lee Crooks. Crooks almost through, but Leeds have it back. These really are desperate moments for both sides. Castleford trying all they know, and Leeds so far standing up to the test well.
They certainly are, but Castleford, they're going to rue the day when they watch the video of this. The missed tackles, the drop balls and bad passes throughout the game, and missed opportunities.
Well, let's go downstairs and rejoin Peter Hutton.
Crucial in this game is the fact that Leeds are preparing a substitute. Paul Dixon coming on in the second row.
Gallagher takes over for Leeds. Oh, but that's a great tackle. It looked as though Gallagher had released the ball. The referee and touch judge disagree. But what a run that was from Gallagher. Storming run.
Well, there was never any doubt that St John wasn't going to get caught again. That was a super tackle. He may have got beaten by Eddie Rombo earlier, and he wasn't going to let it happen again.
So that substitution is about to be made. Let's hear about it from Peter Hutton.
Well, the news is that number 12, Paul Dixon's coming back on in replace of the number 8, Steve Malloy. But rather different news from the Castleford bench, where Dean Sampson, after going off, he wasn't very happy to be taken off. He went back and sat disconsolately back in the dressing room. He's still sat there now, and Castleford have just sent Gary French, the number 14, to bring him out.
So, Paul Dixon showing his dissent at being taken off. He's brought back on. Dean Sampson not happy about being taken off. He's in the dressing rooms.
Well, let's not be too hard on the guy. He did take a bad knock early in the game. He may have slight concussion.
No wonder, because the pace, and as you've just seen, the tackle count unrelenting. We've got about 13 minutes to go. And there's an attempted drop goal, I think, from Stedman. Gallagher collects it, but is immediately tackled. Stedman was about 40 or 50 metres out. Tried for the drop goal. It didn't come off, but he's penned Leeds back underneath their own sticks.
Well, Gallagher did take his time here, and I think he was surprised to find that Anderson was on him. He really did just dawdle along. I think he expected that ball to go dead in goal.
Schofield's kick out collected on the full by Larder. And Leeds have got some work to do again in defence here. Southernwood going on his own.
Well, surely Castleford would pull a move on soon.
Crooks still going forward. Crooks eventually hauled down. Stedman waving the support down the left-hand side and then coming this way. Nearly stopped for Leeds there was Irwin. Eventually the tackling from Creaser and Rombo was good on Southernwood. England to Joyner. Joyner's kick ahead, and Harkin has it. Well, Joyner there tried to thread that ball through the eye of a needle, didn't he?
Well, he seemed to have just no pressure on the ball at all. It sort of just bobbed around, and Leeds were lucky enough to get the ball away.
But they're still camped out underneath their own post, but Kuwaiti's trying to rectify that situation. David Ward, the Leeds coach, watching from the bench. Knows how important this match is to his side. That's a mistake. That's a real error.
That could prove a vital mistake here. You see the ball coming up the side of the foot That's the reason why the crowd are enjoying that white ball, but Leeds won't.
Oh, but Leeds will just really enjoy that. And they won't be disputing that shout from the referee.
Oh, well, there he is, the man in question, Tony Smith. Probably just caught the skipper, John Joyner, ticking the young fellow off. Wasted opportunity once again.
And that was a really overdue penalty for Leeds. The count against them is 11-4 in Castleford's favour. There it is. 10 minutes to go in this intriguing match between these two local rivals. And the game is there for the winning. And Leeds are the team in possession. Richard Gunn. Not much to choose in the time in possession. And nothing to choose on the scoreboard. It's 14 apiece.
Well, this really is a position where Leeds, with Harkin and Schofield, they'll have to weave their magic. They really have got to inject a little bit more into it now. Try something different.
Can they try something on this last tackle? Schofield, long pass out to the far side. I don't think Gary Schofield wanted that one back. Leeds have kept it alive well. Harkin's gone for the drop. Not too far away. Quick thinking from Paul Harkin. But here's a good run from Larder. And there's Paul Harkin, little genius scrum half for Leeds. Paul Harkin had a drop goal attempt disallowed on Wednesday in the drawn game with Warrington. And he was looking for that drop goal attempt as they tried to set that move up for him. If it stays like this, I think we'll see a few more drop goal efforts from both sides.
In fact, on that game last Wednesday, Eddie, Leeds wasted about 4 or 5 opportunities to go for the drop goal. I'm sure they'll have learned their lesson.
Gallagher shouldn't dawdle on this one, but he has, and that's a tremendous chase again from Anderson. And Gallagher looks as though he's looking round to see what on earth's going on here. And it's a penalty to Castleford. He didn't play the ball correctly.
Well, that is a sin. Twice he's taken his time about taking possession of the ball, and he's got caught for it.
That's Simon Irvine coming off, and probably Gibson, Carl Gibson, will return to the fray. He is actually on there for Leeds now, Simon Irvine. Looks a bit sick, and that's the Leeds goal kicker.
Well, I'm sure that they'll be happy with just one with the drop goal. But John Gallagher, he must give their coach David Ward a heart attack. He really does take his time.
So Lee Crooks has this effort to edge his team ahead. He has been a prodigious goal kicker in his day, Lee Crooks. Remember him kicking one off the touchline into Ellen Road in a test match that rescued a series against the New Zealanders. 7 goals for Leeds last season. Will he get off the mark this time round? It's an important kick. It's just faded short. It was worth an effort though. And Gary French is coming on as it stays at 14 apiece. Gary French, number 14 for Castleford, will replace Tony Smith. There is French on for a big final effort for Castleford to get the winning money. It's 14 apiece.
Well, he's obviously looking towards the Australian to inject that little bit of speed, something a little bit different. That's what's needed.
England. He's run hard and strong all night, Keith England. Got a spell in the sin bin. There's French. And here come Castleford again. Been a great contest, Mike. Crooks then shaped for a drop goal. And it's a penalty to Castleford as Crooks released that ball. Number 3, Sean Irwin, was tackled, and the referee said illegally.
Well, here we see Crooks trying to get the ball away. He goes round the man. He's very good at this. And the referee has deemed that Mike Kuiti impeded Sean Irwin. And he took a bad knock at Irwin. In a little bit of pain. I'm sure that that pain will be erased if Lee Crooks can kick this penalty goal.
Well, in fact, the kicking responsibility has gone back to Graham Steadman here. And Graham Steadman has surely not had a more important kick than this for a long, long time. This could win the match. It's right in front of the sticks. If he strikes it sweetly, it's over, and the crowd reaction tells you that it is. So is that the killer punch? Castleford edged back into the lead, and Graham Steadman, who runs the tries in, has knocked over the penalty goal that perhaps has tipped the balance Castleford's way.
Could well be that. Leeds now have to throw everything. They really have to throw caution to the wind, throw the ball out wide. They're in a chase-up situation with not many minutes to go.
So Castleford, they're in that rich vein of form, 6 wins out of 7. Are they going to make it 7 out of 8? England in possession for them. Powell and Gunn, the tacklers for Leeds. Joyner, the Castleford captain. Last tackle. Steadman hoists the kick down into the corners. Gallagher collects. Wombo's with him.
That's great tactics by Castleford. You'll notice that they are not kicking the ball to touch, diffusing the play so that they could have the scrum. They want to keep Leeds in their own quarter, and that is great tactics.
Peter Hutton is on the touchline. He's talking to Tony Smith of Castleford.
Tony, you've just come off. It looked a very hard game out there.
Yeah, certainly well. Took some soaking up out pressure they were giving us at the start, especially the first 10 minutes. We had a lot of defending to do. Good goal by Graham Steadman there, I think he's won its match.
The side have really stuck at it, haven't they?
Yeah. If you notice in recent weeks, we've been working on his defence, and I think that's what's pulled us through today again.
John Gallagher takes over for Leeds. The kick ahead. Ellis read it well, and perhaps that's the last chance gone for Leeds.
A desperation tackle by the Castleford skipper John Joyner then. It looked as though Gallagher had the speed to pull away, but a diving tackle by Joyner saved the day. Though in all fairness, St John Ellis was on hand if Joyner would have missed.
So Castleford have the possession back. They won't be in any rush to get through their 6 tackles here. Southernwood is the dummy half. This is Crooks, shaped to kick. Decided then to run through the brick wall. Now the kick. This from Steadman. Gallagher picks up. He's got to run straight. And Gary French has pinned him underneath his own sticks. Coming up to the last minute of the match. It looks like it's Castleford's night. It looks like the end of the title for Leeds. Schofield kicking over the top, but he's given the possession back to Castleford. Substitute Andy Clark swooped on it for his side.
Full credit to Schofield, he tried hard. They know they're pushing it up that big hill to get a win out of this game.
Castleford know too, they perhaps need to just take these 6 tackles and the 2 points will be theirs. But they will rarely have had such a hard battle as this in this excellent winning run that's taken them shooting up that First Division table. We enter stoppage time and this is the last tackle. And Castleford are in possession. Crooks kicks ahead. And I wonder, no, well I was going to say I wonder whether Crooks had followed up and touched down his own kick ahead. Referee says no.
Well, a lovely kick through by Crooks. He was impeded, and once again, Mr. Cool, and I don't know. That was close.
It certainly was. We're deep in stoppage time now, though. I wonder whether that will matter. Kuwaiti, Rombo. Not this time. The seconds ticking agonisingly for both sides towards the hooter. Bad pass. Terrible pass from David Heron to Gary Schofield, and his captain's telling him so too.
Yes, well, Heron pointing at his skipper saying, run onto the ball. Schofield saying, what do you think I am, a gazelle?
Southernwood goes off, and Dean Sampson has come back out of the dressing rooms and back on for the last few seconds for Castleford. Steadman, no one's worked harder than him tonight in the Castleford jersey. 1.5 minutes of stoppage time played. It's in the hands of the timekeepers. There's the siren. Castleford celebrate. The players punch the air with delight. And Castleford have the 2 points. And Graham Steadman gives his tie-ups to a couple of fans. And it's been a hard-earned victory for Steadman and his team. So Castleford's march continues. They relentlessly keep going in pursuit of the title. That's the way it ended up. Tries from Irwin and Ellis, and a conversion from Steadman, and a couple of penalties as well. And tries from Schofield, Kuwaiti and Rombo. It was a wonder try from Eddie Rombo. And Simon Irving with just the one conversion. Leeds had it at half-time, and that's what this match has done to the top of the table. It really is getting very, very tight up there. The top 4, any one of them could win it. Right, now down to the touchline, and Peter Hutton again.
St. John Ellis, a great victory for you.
Yeah, I think in the end, defence wins games, and that's what we did tonight. I think the lads, we've got our mind on the game. Our preparation was excellent all week, and once your preparation's right and your mind's on the game, I think everybody tracking the right way, this is what happens.
Must have been a massive blow, though, when Eddie Rombo went in for that great try.
Yeah, I thought I had him, actually, but he just slipped away from me, but not to worry, we still came out on top.
And it's been a great week for you, with a great written call-up as well.
Well, obviously it was a bit of a surprise to me, but I think if I stick in, I might have another chance.
Also quite a lucrative call-up for you.
Well, money's no object, really. It's just to play the game, really. If you're playing it well and you're enjoying it, what about money? So what?
I'll just explain that in that your contract gives you more money for playing for Great Britain, but the thing that will really be important for you tonight, the way Castleford are playing, 3rd in the table, can you go on to really challenge for the title?
Well, like I said before, I think once obviously that everyone's ticking. I mean, this is the first time I think we've all been ticking together. We've had individual displays, but once you're all playing together, it makes a great side.
Thanks a lot. Back to Eddie.
St. John Ellis, a delighted young man with Peter Hutton. So it's Castleford's night, and Mike Stevenson has enjoyed everything as well here tonight along with the rest of us. They've shot up that table, haven't they? Very quickly.
They certainly have, and full credit to the team and the coach. They've worked very, very hard in their defence, and it showed it today. I thought Castleford just shaded Leeds. It was a very, very tight game, forwards into it, but Castleford made a lot of mistakes. They really forced the issue.
Well, they certainly forced the issue, and in the end, they have picked up the winning pay. Next week, we turn our attention away from the Stonespitter Championship to the first round of the road to Wembley. We'll be at the lovely Sheffield Eagle Stadium for their first round match against Featherstone Rovers. If it's as good as this one tonight, well, we're in for a treat. Hope that we'll see you same time next week, right here on the Sports Channel. Till then, goodbye.
We must